Eyewitness News is bringing you tomorrow's headlines today. And as we mark 1 year since Hurricane Helene ravaged western North Carolina, we're putting a spotlight on the recovery progress that's been made and what still needs to happen. Joining me now from live outside of the Raleigh Eyewitness News Center is Luciana Perez Uribe with the News and Observer. Welcome to the show and thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So let's get right into these questions. Hurricane Helene is responsible for billions of dollars in damages after destroying roads, homes, and businesses. So tell us, where does recovery stand now 1 year later?
Yes, so recovery has made a lot of progress. There's been a lot of progress, but there's still a long way to go. For this project specifically, we looked at housing, roads, and also federal funding for local governments. In terms of housing, there's still a lot of houses that are damaged. Nonprofits have taken on a lot of that work, and a state program has just recently launched. Roads, that is a brighter spot. Most of those have been reopened, but not fully repaired necessarily. And then finally, FEMA funding for local governments, that's a bit of a sore spot for local governments. They have had some troubles in getting a lot of their money reimbursed.
And you kind of touched on this briefly just a moment ago, but in your report, you focused a lot on housing. So the state has launched this Renew NC to help cover home repairs, but many people are still struggling to rebuild. Why is that?
So yes, again, it's largely because the extent was so large. So over 70,000 homes were damaged, with over 8,000 severely damaged. So that just entails a lot of work, a lot of time in getting all that fixed. Nonprofits have taken on a chunk of that work, and they're not really subject to a lot of the federal regulations that the state's program is subject to. So a state's program, Renew NC, opened applications in June. Those run through December, and they have had to work through a lot to get that program running. They've done one repair, and they expect to have a full new construction by January potentially of next year. So it takes a bit to get there.
Now, we've obviously seen a lot of this devastation, but when people are reading this article, is there anything that you discovered that was really interesting while reporting on the Helene aftermath?
So I focused on housing again, and I was lucky that I was able to go in person down to western North Carolina. And for me, seeing the work that a lot of these nonprofits are doing was just really inspiring, but also interesting to see how they've built out homes quickly using community relationships that they've had for years at this point.
Yeah, some of that has been so inspiring to see, just the resilience and the hope that's come out of all of this. Luciana, thank you so much for joining us, and we of course will continue following Helene recovery. You can read more on this report on the N&O website or in Sunday's paper.